Greetings, give to
Greetings.
another segment on the mythical realities. I know this is
Great,
another strange topic.
great, great.
Another strange
We are
topic.
back.
Used
We
to
are
talking about.
back.
I guess I'm getting used to.
Yeah.
How's everybody doing?
Very well.
Well, blessed, blessed, blessed.
That's good.
We just welcomed the new year here in the southern hemisphere. It's a very good day.
Okay. Yes.
The sun
Mhm.
was shining so bright today.
Okay.
Yeah, we are so blessed.
Sound like a good sign for the new year. The sun shining so bright.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good things are coming. We're expecting blessings from our ancestors and the
Mhm.
gods. Yeah.
Right.
How are
And you
you?
said it was windy too, right? So you got some good sunshine.
Yeah. I got some good sunshine
Good
and I
sunshine and
enjoy
some good wind.
nighttime breeze outside. Everything seems to be running smoothly. There's no wind that
Oh,
were
okay.
disturbing the network and everything.
Okay, okay. Where's
Yeah,
Mr.
but we
Matzi? He's not here today.
Mr. Muzi is organizing some family matters in the Free State province. So I don't think he will be joining us today,
Okay.
but I think he will watch
Mm-hmm.
from YouTube. He'll be
Okay.
watching from YouTube.
Watch it while
Yeah,
he's handling his business.
yeah. I've
Is
got
that baby
little.
Swazi Koi?
I I've got little Swazikoi here. He doesn't want to sleep.
I see him peeping in the screen.
Yeah, he wants to see who I'm talking to. Say
Yeah,
hi.
he hear the
Hey,
voices, but he like, okay, I know how to see your face.
yeah, say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
How you doing? Doing
I'm
fine.
fine.
Baby Swazi Koi Koi doing.
Yeah, maybe he wants to
Is
add
Lake
on.
listening to the podcast? You want to hear about Bigfoot?
He wants to tell us about the fairy tales, the fairies that he dreams about when he's sleeping.
Oh, I'm ready to hear it. I'm ready to hear it. I'm trying to get my daughter to come on and talk about the time she saw a fairy, but I guess she always wants to listen and then talk
I
through the
remember,
chat. I'm trying to see if she could come on and talk about her experience.
yeah, last time, she said she saw a fairy, and she couldn't get a chance to tell us the experience.
Right. She said next time, but this time is next time. So I'm going to text her and say, you're going to tell us about the fairy experience now, right? Because this is next time.
Yeah, let her come through. We want to hear that story.
Exactly.
Hmm. How are you, brother Shepsu?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, my brother. Is the sun treating you well there?
Well, it start to get cold now. Yeah, we just starting to get cold in New York, but it's not that bad yet.
So it's winter on your side, eh?
is what?
Winter.
Oh, no, summer, and
Oh,
No, not
the
yet.
summer. Yeah,
It's
the
still
summer.
summer.
Yeah, the 20. Oh, the summer ended yesterday.
oh,
Oh, is that yesterday or the
Yeah, I think
22nd?
22nd, right? 22nd,
Yeah,
20.
yeah. So I'm late on that one. I should have been doing my ritual for that
Yeah,
day. I know that escaped me because of a situation that had occurred to me. So it's okay. I still do my
yeah.
work. I do.
yeah, they
But
call it Indian summer. Once
Yes,
the fall comes in, we get like an Indian summer in
yes.
certain regions of the United States. Well, it's 89 degrees right here in Miami, Florida. So either
Wow.
autumn or fall, we see
eh?
that weather.
Oh,
It
Yeah.
gets cooler than that.
But
Yeah, it's
but you
hot. Right?
in Miami, you don't get snow,
And then a
really.
hurricane's supposed to be heading this way.
wow.
No, not at all. Not at
Yeah.
all. We might get some cold fronts in January, February, but that'll
Yeah.
probably last maybe like 10 times throughout the winter. And then it'll just be regular spring like weather,
Yeah.
you know, 60s, 70s, like that. Yeah, but no snow in this area.
Yeah. Now it's like
Yeah.
it's another part of Africa in Miami. There's no snow.
Okay. Okay. Exactly. Except for the mountain cap, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at baby Swazi. He look like mommy.
He looks like mommy.
Swazi. Yes. Looks like
Oh,
a
you are
version of
Swaziland?
mommy.
I didn't know. Swaziland, that's where you are? I thought
No,
you were
I'm from Africa, but
South Africa.
Swaziland is within South Africa. It's a country, a small country in South
Yeah, next to
Africa.
Mozambique and in South Africa, between Mozambique and South Africa.
Yes, yes, yes. It's actually in the Mpumalanga province. When you exit Mpumalanga province, you
Mhm.
enter Swaziland, and then there's Mozambique border there. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the king had to flee. The king from Swaziland had to flee because of corruption, right?
Yeah, but he's still around.
Oh
King
yeah,
Muswati. King Muswati. He's still around. He's still around with his many wives.
yeah. How many years now?
I think now they are around 15 or 16.
Oh, that's all. Okay.
Yeah. That's the Swazi tradition, though. He's still upholding the ancient tradition of his forefathers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
He said that's all.
I just like to make things a little interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. So, mystical creatures. Where were we?
Right.
We got into the subject of speaking about those
And so
about
Swazi
flying
Koi Koi
after.
is going to tell us about his fairies, the fairies that he dream of,
Yeah, let's listen to it. That would
right?
be good. Yes.
I'm trying to get him to go to sleep, but he's refusing.
Oh, okay, I hear that. He's like, no, I want to talk about my fairy time.
Yeah.
Let me see if my daughter is gonna answer. She's answering phone now. She know what I'm calling for. Hey, Shawnee, you want to tell us your experience about the fairies? You want to tell us your experience about the fairies? Okay, so when you finish eating, you can come on. I'll send you the StreamYard link, unless you want to tell us through the chat.
Why?
But they won't be able to hear you.
Okay.
So you can type it in the chat and then copy and paste it and put it there. All right. So just text me when you're ready. Okay. Yeah, she says she's eating now, but she's going to she eating now, but she's gonna when she's done, she's gonna put it in the chat. She's gonna type it in the chat. So I've been watching well, not watching because it's a the audio, but I've been listening to. Oh, okay. Let me see what happened here. I hope the current didn't blink out this early. But yeah, I've been listening to Sasquatch Chronicles lately on this YouTube channel. I've been listening to the Sasquatch Chronicles. The more I listen to it, the more interesting the stories get. It just gets more fulfilling as I listen to it. So I did speak about people last time we talked about it, and over the couple of days I've been listening to more of the Sasquatch Chronicles, and I came across for more people, and like two particular stories stuck in my head that I will talk about, I guess, a little bit. But yeah, the Sasquatch Chronicles, man, these people having some real mythical realities, especially the ones that live in the woods and the ones that go hunt a lot and hiking. They really come as the real right now. And there's even another one called the dog man, where he looks like a werewolf, more like a dog head, but the werewolf type of body. And from the Sasquatch Bigfoot. So it's like different species of them, different breeds of the Sasquatch. So you got some like werewolf, like the one I was telling you about last time in New Orleans, the Lou Barou in French. He's a werewolf man. And then they got ones that look like werewolf dog. Then they have some that like the Bigfoot Sasquatch. And then so different species of different Sasquatch. Some has red hair, some have black hair, some look more gruesome, some more childlike, some are more so, and lady was saying that's from Virginia, right? I couldn't stop laughing. I almost died laughing. She said she's sitting on her balcony one night. So her balcony is about 14 feet high from the ground. And she heard these noises in the night between 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. I guess they're nocturnal beasts. So they come out more in the nighttime. People see them in the day, but she said she mostly hear the activity at night. And she said they were making noises. So she made the same noises back. And then she did that for a few nights. And then one night heard them like basically in her backyard, and they was laughing like the way she said it was laughing. Can you imagine? She said it was laughing at her. Like she's on the balcony reading a book and she heard something in the woods not far from her yard laughing. So it's like he was watching her laughing. You know? So she said they could get real playful in a sense, but but after a while, you don't want them playing too much when they start shaking the balcony, making big noises. And she said they kept doing it so much she went outside crying and said, "Would you stop it? Leave me alone." She said it stopped. They didn't do it anymore because her friend told her, if they keep doing it, yell at them and tell them to stop because that's what I did. And then that's what she did. But see, this lady don't realize she invited them to her because when they was making the noises in the night, like communicating with each other, because she said it sounds like they were talking to each other, she started mimicking the noise back. So she made them think that she wants to, talk with them in her backyard, and they laughing. So like, what did you expect? If you hear the noises, them talk. She said it didn't like human talk, but you could tell they were talking. So why would you mimic that back? So you know what I'm saying? You hear them make a noise, calling out one another, then you go and make a noise back. They know you're not them, so now they're gonna follow you, and they're gonna be in your backyard, watching you on your balcony, reading a book, drinking wine, and now they're gonna start laughing. And when they started laughing, she got scared. Now she want to move. Now she want to let how to move. But yeah, that was a recent one I watched, a funny recent one. You can just hear in her voice like she's done with Sasquatch right about now. You can hear the nervousness. She's ready to get out of Virginia, at least that area of Virginia. She's ready to move out of there.
Well, she's scared.
But she said it
She's
laughing.
Yeah. Yeah, such things sometimes they can be scary because it's an experience that you are not used to. It's normally something that you see in the movies or you hear other people talking about it, but when you experience it, how you make sense of it, it's something else, because at the end of the day it
Yes.
leaves you with question. You question a lot of things, even your sanity. You end up questioning your own
Mm-hmm.
sanity, that am I still okay upstairs, you know is this happening in my mind, or is this happening for real, you know because sometimes if you consult um, doctors like the psychologists, psychiatric practitioners, you find that you when you explain what you saw, you'll be told that it's either you were hallucinating, or it's your mind playing tricks on you know so it's something that is having a negative impact on us when we try to explain it, because now we have cases where people have experienced such things, but when it comes to uh, narrating, giving the story, or explaining what you have seen, it becomes very, very, very difficult, because now at
Right.
first you think about being judged, and you also
Mm-hmm.
question your own sanity. You question your own sanity, like if I go out there and tell people about this, how will they accept it, or how will they view me?
Right. Right.
You might end up being thrown in the loony bin, but hence we have platforms like these, and we are having conversations like these. I think it's very pivotal for us to now try to make sense of these things, because now what we are trying to do is to show people that what we're talking about is a reality, another reality that
That's right.
we are ignoring, or we are sidelining from the things that we deal with as our reality. Um, think of it this way now. When a child says something to you that I've seen the boogeyman, or I've seen the shadow man, children
I think they
are
do.
afraid of.
Mm-hmm.
They will tell you when they're sleeping at night. They will tell you, close the closet. You know, I don't want it to be open when I'm
Uh-huh.
sleeping. There are things that
Or
they
close the
see in the.
window.
Yeah, there are
Mm-hmm.
things that they, which we as adults, we tend to brush them off, and try to make our children as sane as we are. Though we think we are sane, of which we might not be sane, but we are trying to level up our children's minds, just to make them sane, so that they do not appear as insane, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But now,
Exactly.
children children have, they haven't been um tamed by all these things that we have experienced as adults. They haven't seen the negative and positive
Mm-hmm.
to balance or to make sense of. Their third eye is still open. So now what they see it spiritually, and it also comes out in the physical. You know, if a child can draw something, of course they might not be good artists to draw something that you can make sense of, but if they draw something, it is something that they picture, and they are depicting in a way that they saw it. When you try to make sense of that, you will always brush it off. You will always tell the child, no, this is just a fairy tale. But still you want them to believe in Santa
Yeah.
Claus. you know you want them to believe in Santa because you want
That's
to
right.
manipulate them. you know when you manipulate your children, you're telling them, no, if you don't listen, Santa won't bring gifts for you in Christmas. But now there is this thing that resonates within a child. Children can see what we cannot see. And as I have said in the past few podcasts that we did, I referred to a child saying that if we as adults can be like children, have it within us to do away with this too much knowledge that we have, too much consciousness that we have, and be like children, perhaps, we will be able to see some of these things that we think that are not real.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's true.
we are living in the third dimension, which is our reality, the only reality that we can make sense of, with our physical senses, your sight, your smell, your taste, and your hearing and touch. That those are the only senses that we uh, we can identify with in this three dimension that we are living in. But if you go to other dimensions, the higher dimensions, the fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, you will realize that the only senses that you think are the reality of your life are just a few
Mm-hmm.
from the senses that are out there. We only identify with six senses. No, not six, five. The sixth one you can acquire if you have opened your third eye. You know, we only identify with five senses in this 3D, this three dimension that we are living in. But when you go
But it's
to
so much
other dimensions,
more.
when you go to other dimensions, you will find out there are more senses that you can identify with. So now there are creatures that are still here on earth, which were created when everything was created. When we were created, when this planet was created, them too were created and they lived here on earth. But because of the interaction and the loss of uh, communication between us and certain creatures, some of them have hidden away from us. Do you see what we are
That's right.
doing? What we are doing to the animals that we are living with now? We got lions in cages, zebras, uh, whales, and
Mm-hmm.
dolphins in the zoo, in the aquarium. Are those creatures meant to live like that? They're not.
Of course, no.
They're not meant to live like that.
No
So
way.
now there are other creatures that we haven't discovered in other places that we haven't been to. So of course they too have the instinct, the natural instinct that tells them that if you interact with these animals that walk with two legs, they will take you to a zoo. They will take you somewhere and make a show out of you. So of course there are creatures that we haven't discovered. They are there, they exist, and they are hiding from us because they know we're gonna capture them.
Mm-hmm.
So now let us speak
That's right.
about the experiences, about those who have encountered such creatures, and let them tell their stories. Let us hear how these creatures are surviving wherever they are, and what is it that keeps us away from them, that sets us apart from them. Why are they hiding from us? And those that have seen them, let them describe them. Let us hear those stories and make our children know that there are
Mm-hmm.
these that are existing with us on this planet. Let us stop this thing of
That's right.
stigmatizing and saying people are crazy when they have seen what they have seen. You know, today you might say I'm crazy when I tell you that I saw Bigfoot. What if you see it? Are you gonna say you are crazy? Because yeah,
That's right. And that's how this.
it's it's
Yeah, that's how
easy
the
for some.
Sasquatch Chronicle YouTube channel exists.
Yeah,
So they're coming out saying something because they realize that they're not alone. They're not the only one, you know? So it took a
yeah,
program like that to be invented in order to make people speak up because people don't want to talk about it. They're going to think you crazy and, they're going to figure something wrong with you. Like you say, they'll put you in the crazy house before they go and research what you're saying. But everybody can't be telling the
exactly.
same lie. This is all over the world, not just them. This is all over the world. These things have been, not just Bigfoot, fairies, Smurfs, trolls. I didn't mean to cut the build, but I was just feeding off of what you were saying when you was like people don't want to and thing. And the Sasquatch Chronicles makes people come out and say it because people who had those experiences, they listen to it and they say, "Oh, okay, I had the same experience as this man. Let me call the Sasquatch Chronicles and give them my story, and they invite me on the show, and then I can tell them my version of Bigfoot, or my experience of what happened." So it's true. It's you got to have a certain platform to make a person feel welcome to even want to discuss it. Otherwise, they're not going to talk about it. They're going to that to their
Yeah,
grave. They might tell their family members. They're not going to go no farther than their husband, their wife, close families. That's it. They're not going to go public with it. Like how we on social
yeah,
media speaking about it.
yeah, yeah. And the funny part is that Hollywood now is making lots
Hollywood know it's
and
real.
lots of money. They're making lots of money out of these stories, you know, because now it appears as fiction, as a myth. So when Hollywood gets these stories, they know it's something that is going to be interesting to the ears or the eyes of those who are going to support the movie that they will make. Recently, um, we had a movie made about the Little Mermaid, which was always it was this white girl
Yeah.
with red hair. Um, I forgot what they call her. That she has a name
I know Halle Berry
now.
is making the new one.
Yeah, yeah. Now they have redone the movie with a black character now. I don't know if you have seen that.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I saw that.
A lot of
And
I
controversy.
saw that.
there's a debate now going around the whole world.
Yeah, people
People,
have a problem. Yeah, they have a
so
problem with that.
it's something that you as a person, when you sit down and analyze it, you have to ask yourself, why are people making such a big deal out of this? You know, because a story is a story. From who it comes from, now it is where you must be careful, because there are many stories which were taken from Africa,
Hmm.
taken to Hollywood, and when they bring it to us in a movie form, it comes with white characters, and then we take it that it is a white story. You know, it's white people's story. We cannot relate to the story, or we must respect the authors of the story and say this is their story. But when you do research, a deep research, it's funny. I have to mention this. There's a movie called Gods of Egypt. In that movie, only one character is black. The rest of the characters are white. But when you go to the original stories, who are the gods of Egypt? There's not even a single white person there. So now
I know.
we are going to take these stories as a myth because it is depicted in a different color and in a way that's entertaining, science fiction. The truth behind that has been covered now, covered in the color of the skin and the narrative of the story. But the original story is there, and there's truth behind a myth. Every folklore, every story has the truth behind it. There were actual events that influenced that story. Our elders didn't wake up one day and decide to tell us about these creatures that are scary or that are different from us. They must have experienced something to tell us those stories.
Yes.
But now, it is not
Yes.
what you are saying, but how you say it. You see? This is where the myth comes from. This is where the
Hmm.
folklore comes from. Because now, what you are saying is the actual truth, the actual events that happened. But how you say it, that's what determines the mythical part of it, the folklore part of it.
Right.
There are
Yeah, that determines
stories,
if people are gonna believe it or look at it as a myth.
yeah, how you say it will determine that. But what you are saying has facts in it. There's truth behind it. But now, how you say it is going to determine how people will view it. I have written short stories, um, folklores that I was told by my ancestors. Remember now, I'm narrating a story that was told to me in this century, in this generation that I am living in. This story comes from thousands of years ago. It has been told and retold
Mm-hmm.
and retold until it reached me. Now, the version that I have now is the version that I got from my grandmother. My grandmother gave me the version that she got from her grandmother. But now let's go back 4, 5, 6, 7 generations before that. It's a different version,
Yeah, it's a
but
little more truer from the beginning.
there's exactly the story behind the story. There's truth to that. Let us go to the experience of the ETs, the
Oh well,
extraterrestrials. Okay,
before
okay.
you go there, my daughter posted her experience with the fairies. She said,
Yeah, yeah, I
"I
see
saw
it.
my first fairy in my room at my mom's house." Talking about my house, I saw an orb of light portal through the sun ray, and I didn't pay it much attention to the orb of light at first until I saw a little fairy flying. This is the rest of the sentence. Flying around me, she says. And then she
Yeah.
says, she came for a few minutes. She came a few moments, then she left. And then she ended with, uh, the fairy teleported through the sun. And I know from Peter Pan that Tinkerbell jingle when she talks. And I felt a jingle vibe coming from the fairy. It was a sweet moment. Now I gotta watch Peter Pan again because I forgot about I don't remember the when Tinkerbell's jingles. I have to revisit that again. You know, when you don't see something in a long time, you don't remember little parts. But
Yeah.
the fact that it
So
happened
now
at my house when she was living with me, that's a beautiful
I
thing
have
to
a
know that
question.
fairies come to my house. They just never, I never see them, you know?
I have a question for you. That experience happened in your house, and had your
Yeah.
daughter had your daughter told you about it, what was going to be your response? How are you gonna respond to that?
Oh, well, this was recently that she's talking about. She's not talking about when she was young, when she was a little girl.
Okay,
Remember,
okay.
she's 25 now, so I think happened when she was probably like 20. Oh, she said she saw a
Wow.
bigger one at Pepper Park. Oh, that's the park not too far from me that I used to go and exercise at. It's like you walk around it 4 times and that'd be like 4 miles. So last year, so was that last year you saw the ferry at my house or the ferry at Pepper Park? So she saw a big at Pepper Park last year. Yeah, she saw the ferry last year she was at my house. Yeah, because she just moved like a year and a half ago.
Mm. Mm.
So if she would have told me that, I would have I would have believed I would have believed her, of course. Because when I was living in New York, right, I used to do be a home health aide, and these people were from Europe. I forgot what part of Europe they were from, and the lady gave me a bag of books. It was something like a comic. They weren't comical; they were legends, and I was reading the books. Some of the books were about fairies, and they were telling you ways that you could see that you'll know that the fairy is around if you don't actually see them. So I started thinking back when I was a little girl, when I used to be walking to my grandmother's house under this particular tree, and in spring or the summertime, I used to smell this perfume smell coming from the top parts of the. And in that book, I remember the book said that they will leave like a perfume smell. That's the one reason. That's one way you know they're around. And when I was reading it, I thought back at those moments when I was younger, like 8, 9, 10, like that. Yeah, walking under this tree, going to my grandmother's house, smelling this fragrance. So, fast forward, reading this book, and I remember having that experience. I never saw any fairies, but I smell a fragrance under this particular tree. Tree was a tree that let off fragrance, wasn't like a jasmine tree or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I would have been more inquiring if she would have told me that, because I know a husband and wife said that they built a fairy house. They have a fairy house on their property, you know, and they decorated it just like a house, but a house for fairies. And they said the fairies come. So if she would have told me that, maybe I would have had me a fairy house in the backyard. Maybe that would prompt me to do that, because I had read the book when I was, in my early 20s. And then I saw this husband and wife on a documentary speaking about it. So,
Yeah.
you know, yeah,
But
so she said she
now,
saw it at my house and at the park.
now can we go to before we move on to the UFOs and ETs? Let us touch on this topic now. Those who see the fairies, if they invite you to come and witness the same thing, and you get there and
Mhm.
you don't see what they have seen, what sense are we going to make out of that experience? Because in most cases, when someone tells of their experience, that I have seen such and such, in most cases you find people who want to go and investigate and try to find proof of what has been said by
Force.
the one
Hmm.
who has experienced it. Like in case of the UFO, if you say aliens came to your house, people will come with machines to your house just to check the frequencies and the vibrations in your house to see if there was something different that came there. They want to prove. What happens if they do not find that proof? Because in most cases, that's what happens. You know, after your daughter saw the fairies, she comes to you and says, Mom, I've seen fairies in my bedroom. The next day, you want to go there and see what she has seen and witness what she has seen. But they do not appear to you.
And that might
You
not
don't see
happen.
what you've seen.
Yeah.
So now, how do we deal with that situation now? How do we convince those who are skeptical, those who want to get proof.
You may not be able to.
Mm-hmm.
You may not. You may just have to
Right.
accept that you
Eh,
have had the experience, and be satisfied with that, and be at peace with acknowledging that there are people that don't agree with you, and that don't share the same point of view about reality. So that's also a challenge for you, that others don't agree with you. That's challenging your state of being, to see whether you can be at peace if others do not believe that. And that's why sometimes you have to know why is it that you're having that experience yourself, because maybe that experience is not for you to share with others. As like you know very well, what when we practice juju, there are certain things that we cannot share with other people, because of
Mm,
they're not ready to understand certain things. There's certain things that you, it's the same thing that I
Mm-hmm.
can see about the having the experience of witnessing such creatures. You see, because you have to know whether that creature came to you for a purpose. Maybe that creature came to you for you to help that creature itself, because basically you are God on earth. Basically, you are
yeah,
representative of God on earth. So
yeah.
or that creature also can come to you to give you, offer some help, offer some assistance to you as well. So you have to find out what the reason that the person
Right. Or
that
just want to be your friend.
yes, exactly, to find out what the purpose, because if you have oracles, you have to do readings and find out what's the purpose of that creature to
Mm-hmm.
come to you. And then you'll have to, if you're gonna have to a relationship to that with that creature, you see. But it's certain things is not even important to dissipate it to others, as long as you know what you know. Because if they see
Mm,
you saying, they see you walking around, they see you working, they see you paying your bills and doing everything, then you're not crazy. You're doing, you're doing everything correctly. Just that one thing, that guy have that one thing. But well,
yeah.
even
Yeah, that one
necessarily,
experience happened.
yeah, that guy is strange, but it's that's how I see it. You don't have to share it with those that doesn't have the same experience, or don't share your view. Or so there are people who are very pessimistic about things, and very very too they too concrete about reality. You see, that's why they didn't
Yeah.
accept the existence of quantum physics until Einstein came and say, "Whoa, my God, this exists." Okay, he was a
Right.
only participant on quantum physics. So quantum physics explain the reality, the physics behind juju. That's what it does.
Mm,
He
That's
proves
right.
juju, the existence of juju. It can be explained through quantum physics, which was experienced by the ancient Egyptian. Also had quantum physics. You see, but that's another conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Let me not taking you away from your. Let's continue with your side, because I found it that before I had a different mindset when you first started talking about these things, and then I realized that I have to be a little more patient and understanding to see what there is must be something that you guys are talking about, that's part of your experience, and that's
Yeah, but the fairies is quantum physics. Bigfoot is quantum physics because they're multidimensional beings. So they
mm,
are part of the quantum physics. So we really are on the same subject. We're just using a more updated word, quantum physics, but they
Thank
are
you.
true. Yeah,
quantum physics beings.
yeah. That's why it's hidden from certain people, you know. Only a few can see, you know.
Yes.
Hence, I said
And I think that
one
they
needs
know.
like a
Mm,
child to be able to see these things. Because when you do not have the objective
I was
mind,
going to say
you
that.
know, that mind that objects towards things, you are able to see clearly, you know. Um, I remember when we were growing up as kids. We used to go everywhere. We would run to the mountains, to the jungle, places that our parents were telling us not to go to, places that were
Hmm.
deemed dangerous. Our parents would tell us, if you go there, you won't return home. That place is dangerous. And they would tell us about these creatures. They will tell you about the giants that eat children. You know, they say when you go to the mountain or go to the jungle, you will meet this giant and he's gonna take you to his cave and he's going to make nice stew out of you. you know. So
I will keep you away.
they were trying to
So
scare
how would they
us.
know? How did they know that it's gonna make nice
Exactly.
stew? How would they know that?
But
Did
as
somebody
as
come back and say they made stew out of me?
as curious and inquisitive as we were as kids, we would still go to the jungle and play there. Even though we've been warned not to go there, we did. We went there. We were playing there all the time. We used to swim in the rivers where we were told that the half human, half fish will take us and feed us to her
Yes.
children. We used to swim there, even though we were warned that the half human, half fish is gonna take us. We used to go there and swim there. When we came back, we got a nice hiding. You know, that's the only dangerous part of it. When we came back, we got a nice hiding. They beat us, we go to sleep, and then tomorrow we wake up, we go back there. But now,
Go right back there again.
as children, there are things that we saw. Listen to this now. As children, there are things that we saw in the jungle, in those rivers. Now, when you come back to tell about what you have seen in those places, it goes back to what your parents told you. Because your parents said there is a creature in the water that is half human and half fish. Therefore, what you are narrating now, it's something that was told to you by your parents. That's how it becomes a myth. That's how it becomes a fable. That's how it will never be believed by anyone, because the scientists now, the psychologists now, they will say it was implanted in your brain before you even experienced it. Now, when you go there, you come back with this story trying to make sense of what your parents told you, or to fit in a certain narrative towards what you have been told. So, do you see how it is so easy not to believe in these things? Because at first you
Yeah,
were
especially when
told,
TV show you especially when the television show you that you believe. Then you really say, "Oh
yeah,
yeah, that's what my mother was telling me about when I was young. I knew this was make believe."
you see?
But it really isn't. But that's just how it's been presented to you all your life.
And even if you experience it for real, for you to tell the story, it's going to be difficult because you already know how it's going to be perceived. You already know that when I open my mouth and start to talk about mermaids, start to talk about Bigfoot, Sasquatch, the wolf man, already the mindset says it's a fairy tale. It's make believe. It's not true. So we cannot have these stories told and be proven as true. Of course, people are going to make money out of it because we as human beings, we like mysticism, the mystic, the science fiction.
Yeah.
It's entertaining, you know.
Hmm.
For example, why do people watch
True.
horror movies? Why do people watch horror movies? Because the word horror alone means horrible. Why would you watch something that is horrible? But people watch it.
Well, I have to admit, I am a horror movie fan. Some horror movies I like. Yeah, I have to admit it. Like
You and
Poltergeist.
you and Swazi will be friends because she's also a fanatic of horror movies.
I
We're
am
already
too.
friends. That's my sister. That's my
Even
sister
even
from another mister.
Shakespeare is a fanatic of horror movies.
Yeah, I am too, but I cannot watch them now because of because of the initiation I'm going through. I cannot. There's many things I cannot do. I cannot watch many movies. I cannot play video games. There is certain music I cannot listen to. My initiation is very very tough. Very tough. I cannot tell you even more, but it's really tough. I
You have
cannot. I love horror
this,
movie, but I cannot watch them.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, as human beings, we are fascinated by these things, you know. Hence, we
Hmm.
watch horror movies. It's for our entertainment. It's horrible, but it entertains us. You know, you sit there and watch Freddy Krueger slicing people up, killing people. You are entertained, but it's horrible.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so
Yeah, Freddy Krueger
now
was a pedophile, pedophilia.
so now
He was
the
raping the
the,
little children in the neighborhood.
the reverse psychology of this now. This is where it gets serious. The reverse psychology of it is the fact that they are taking the reality, fictionalize it, making it into an entertaining content that you can watch and brush off and say, it's fiction. You see? And then now you are out of it. You forget about it. When someone comes to you and says to you, I saw Freddy Krueger yesterday, you laugh because Freddy Krueger is a fictional character. It's something that is within the movies, you know? So since it has been fictionalized and played in a movie, therefore we cannot talk about it as serious as we can, because it's fiction.
Hmm.
But now, what about those real experiences now? What about them? How do we deal with such? Because now we still have a sickness. that is created out of this. People are being traumatized by these experiences. Somewhere it's not supposed to be a trauma. It's not supposed to be something that traumatizes someone, but it ends up traumatizing you because now you cannot share it. There's no one to support you through that experience.
Yeah, that
You get
is
what I'm saying?
traumatizing. That is. You would like to
You,
share it, but you can't share it. Hmm.
yeah, you are isolated now. You are isolated. You have to deal with this on your own. When you try to speak about it, people want proof. People want you to prove it before they can help you.
Yeah, they have to see it before they could believe it.
What does that do to you? The victim, the one who has experienced such things, what does that do to you? Because it can also go to other sides. Let us talk about spirituality now. There are people who are initiated into becoming shamans, sangomas. Those people are experiencing things that we as normal people do not experience. They see things that
True.
we cannot see. When they say, I
Hmm.
have seen my ancestors, now you want to come and tell them that no, you have seen demons or you are
Right, but they
possessed by.
didn't see it. Yeah,
You understand?
exactly.
You understand? Now
Hmm.
it doesn't make sense to you, the one who is supposed to help me, who is having this problem. How is it going to make sense to me? If it doesn't make sense to you that I am expecting to help me, let me tell you a short story, just a little bit. There is
Okay.
someone who went missing from his family. They looked for him everywhere, they couldn't find him. After 3 months, he appeared. He came back home. He was raggedy. He looked like he came out of a lion's mouth, like he was chewed and spit out. And then now the family is happy to see him return after 3 months. They wondering, where have you been? We're happy to see you, but we want to know, where have you been? Where were you? He said, I was underwater. I met these human beings who are living underwater. They initiated me, gave me this knowledge, gave me these things to use. He had 3 rocks, and those rocks looked like nothing that you see here on earth. They looked like they are from another planet. He had those rocks with
Wow.
him, and he had a story to tell, that I was underwater. I met these people who are living underwater. They initiated me. They taught me this and this and this and that. Did anyone believe him? No.
No.
Not even a single person believed him. But here's the funny part. The guy was able to tell them things that were happening in his absence. Those 3 months that he was missing, He told them that this and this and this and that happened while I was gone. And they asked him, how did you know that? He said, through the initiation that I got from underwater, I am able to see these things. And I can also see into the future and tell you what's going to happen tomorrow.
Wow.
No one believed him because for you to be a shaman
Mm,
or you to be a sangoma, you have to undergo an initiation whereby someone physical like me takes you and teaches you, initiates you, trains you, brings you back home. There's a ceremony, you dance, all these things are done, the ritual and everything. Now you have graduated. Now we can call you a shaman. But for you to come back and tell us you were underwater, initiated by these people that we don't know and haven't seen, who are living underwater, no one is gonna believe
can't
you.
it can't be real. Mm-hmm.
No one is gonna believe. But that person is doing miracles even today. He's healing people. He's doing things and under the guise of the disguise of a certain name. You know, he doesn't
Right.
want people to know what he acquired and where he acquired it because of this stigma, because of this classification that he's been put under. You know, you cannot go around telling people that I am a shaman. I was initiated underwater. People will laugh at you, and people will not accept help from you because they will deem you as a crazy person. But these things happen. They happen.
Yep. Yes, brother. So yeah, so is as we said before that you having those experiences, and anybody who has those experiences, they should know to whom they should communicate those experiences to, because you cannot just go on and telling everybody, because that's people are not people are not indoctrinated to such a way so that they should admit that these type of creatures exist. See, we are indoctrinated in different way. We have a different perception of reality. So, so therefore, it's not an inconvenience of having those experiences. It's not an inconvenience. It's just like you have to know who to trust with those experiences. And,
Yeah.
it's the same thing like whatever something have happened to you. Let's say something very horrible happened to you. You're not gonna go and be telling everybody about your experience of what had happened to you. You understand? You know who to talk to. You maybe you have to talk to your parents only. They're the only one who can maybe protect you against against any trauma that you might suffer. It's the same thing with those experiences. That, for example, if you're a shaman, you're going to a shaman initiation. You know better than not to tell people about the experiences that you go through. You know, so yeah. So because a shaman, people won't understand. That's the first thing, people won't understand those experiences. So therefore, it's not even important. That's why, like, if I'm teaching a class, I'm not gonna start with the big experiences and things like that. I will go step by step so that you can relate to small experiences first, things that you can relate to, and then build upon those experiences until you can see the picture a little clearer. Because at first you teaching people, and they don't have the ability to understand things that are very complex. The same thing as when you're teaching somebody how to write, but you have to teach them ABC first. So it's the same thing with initiation, or when you're teaching spirituality. Because when I say man is God on earth, I know what I'm saying. You see, and when I say how do you know? You say I know because I know, but I have to do baby steps with you so you can see how we are gods. You see, because the thing is like we want to have a perception of God as they portray it to us, and then we want to compare that image of God that has been given to us to whatever is being told to you about what God is. But if you have a different if God is not perceived as it is told to you, then you can understand. You will have a better understanding of you'll be open to a new definition of what God is. You see, because if you think that God is a white big guy in the sky on the clouds, you see,
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
so people say, then why don't if you God, why can't you do this or why can't you do that? But the thing is like, yes, you can. But why can't you? Why don't you do it? I say, well, because there was a God before me. Let's say they say if you God, if you were to tell a mountain to move from this side to your side, would the mountain move? And you say yes, it will move. And say, well, why don't you tell the mountain to move and see if it's gonna move? Say, well, it will have moved, but the thing is like there was a God before me that told the mountain stay there, do not move from there. You
yeah,
got it? You see?
yeah,
Or they cannot disobey that God first. You see that God already gave the rules. You see on how
yeah,
this interactive relationship should be. So
yeah,
they tell you, okay, if you got, they expecting things to happen. You see, but the thing is like you cannot reveal things like that to them. As I like that this simple example is already mind blowing for many people. But you cannot reveal things like that to people unless they go to certain initiation, certain preparation. You see,
yes,
yeah, yeah, certainly.
yes,
And then one thing I wanted to tell you also about not like if you I'm saying that I don't charge for my services, but it's not that you shouldn't charge for your services. You understand? You will charge according to the person's means, of course, because if your life, if that's your living. You see, that's what you live. You're not gonna be exaggerating or cheating people. You'll be fair. You'll be fair, but because it's not like you're gonna be giving your services for free, and then what about your family? What about what you see? What your
Yeah. How do you pay your bills?
exactly? You see, you have
so let me clarify that one for you, Chepsi. You know what happens when I help people? I know people will appreciate the service that I give, or the help that I give. And to show your appreciation now, it is something that will come out of your heart, you know. It is gratitude. It is something that you alone will decide to give as a gift to the oracle. Not that the oracle gave you a price. for that service or for that help. You know, the oracle did what he did to help you. Therefore, you show gratitude by giving him a gift. It's either you can give him a gift that is tangible, of which it may be money or something, a beautiful sculpture or whatever, or you buy him something precious. You see that he might need this thing. You know, you buy it and you give it to him as a gift. You know, it is acceptable, and it is something that shows the love between us, the interaction of what we're doing as human beings. Because remember, as Africans, our ways of living from way back before money was introduced to us, we used to give, you know, what I am giving to you, my service, my help, is a gift I am giving to you. And after you receive, of course, you will also give. You know, there's an African proverb that says, "The hand that gives is the hand that receives." So you will return the favor. You know, you will return the gratitude. You will return the gift. If I put a price, it's no longer a gift.
I can understand.
It's no longer a gift. It is a business transaction, because now it brings us to the notion that if you can pay, I can help you. You see?
Yes.
Now I do not have a price tag. I have the receiving spirit. You come, I receive you. I give you the help. You go, you are helped, you are fine. You come back, you give gratitude, you give thanks, you give me a gift. It may be whatever, anything. Doesn't have to have a price tag, doesn't have to have a certain amount. Anything that you give out of the goodness of your heart, out of love. Because remember, when I help you out of love. Then why can't you give back the same love? You know, even words are enough for you to say thank you. It means a lot. For you to bring me a glass
That's
of
where some
water,
people will take advantage.
I know.
You know, some people will take advantage. They'll say, "Oh, I know he's not going to press you for money, so you can't
Yeah,
get them out of your face because every time you turn around, you got a problem."
You must be from New
yeah,
York.
And they'll sit
I,
down and eat and drink with you, eat up your
yeah,
food, drink up your drink. Next week, same
I know,
vibration.
I know. Because people want to take advantage of things that are free. They don't want to pay for it, and tomorrow they bring their arrogance
Mm-mm.
and pride on top of it. You know, you help someone today, tomorrow they
Yeah.
want to bring their pride and arrogance on you, the very same person who helped them. But let me tell you something, because I've been through that and I have met such people, I know how to deal with them. Remember, I see you before you come to me. So that's another problem.
Yeah, it's like you already know. Okay, here comes the bag of problem. No matter what you tell them, you can give them 1,000 solutions. They're not going to
Yeah,
listen. They're going to go right back to
yeah,
the problem again and then come back to you and drain you with the same problem.
exactly. And the
And all they can
problem
say is
is,
thank you for listening because all I want you to do is sit there and listen anyway. They really didn't want a solution because when you give them solutions, they don't do it.
yeah, and I'm the type of person who cannot pretend, right? I can't pretend, and I can't lie to a person, especially when it comes to spiritual works. I can't lie. When you come to me and I see the negativity that you are bringing, I tell you straight away. I tell you straight away that you and I cannot deal.
And sometimes you don't see them anymore. They
Yeah,
put a hole in the wall getting out of your house when you do that.
yeah. Thank you to brother Shepsu for
Welcome.
bringing up that that part.
No, because
It's
I
something.
say
It's true. It's
sister
true.
sister Nijis was thinking the same thing I was thinking.
Because I see a lot of them walking around here like that. You know, you don't mind listening and you don't mind giving your opinion or your advice if they ask you, you know, your opinion and your advice. But then when you keep coming back with the same problem and the same complaining and you're not trying to, you just want to swim in your problems, then you must be the problem now. It's not the people anymore. It's you now because you have options to change. You have options to make your situation better, and all you
Yeah,
doing is complaining or you getting jealous of somebody else because they're having a better life, you know, or
true.
because they're prospering the way you would like to prosper. But we don't think
Yeah,
to those probably went through things too. You know, you
yeah,
don't know what a person's background is, but maybe they chose to get help. Maybe they chose to free themselves from them karmas and dramas in their life. That's why
mm,
they can speak the way they speak and live in a life the way they live in. But if you don't
Right.
choose to do that, you just sitting back watching the next man prosperity and not
Mhm.
understanding why you can't be like them,
Yep.
then it's just going to be the same old over and over
That's
again. And after a
exactly
while,
right.
people get tired of that. After a while, you get
yeah,
tired of that.
Everything is a sacrifice. It's not like they're
Hmm.
not gonna give it to you on a silver platter. And the gift or the power, it's not gonna be handed out to you on a silver platter. You have to work for it because there's certain
mm,
transformation, inner transformation have to take place. And like some people talk about certain issues, but they don't really practice what they preach. You see, they talk about peace, harmony, and everything, but they're not behaving in such a way. So
That's
it's not
right.
like, yeah, they we should talk about something. You're supposed to practice what you preach. People will
Because
know.
I remember when that is true. That's true. And I remember when I used to drain my grandmother about certain things. She used to get annoyed and frustrated. And then I was swimming in my problems. I didn't understand why she was getting annoyed and frustrated. But now I can understand it. She got tired of me complaining about the same old thing. She give me advice and I don't use it. But now I just want to use her as a listening ear. But then when she come with
ex-
solutions for me, I don't want to hear the solutions. I just want to keep coming back the next week with the same drama. And then I remember she used to
oh,
have certain friends come to her house. And she was not even just certain friends, anybody that comes to her house, but these particular people, when they leaving, she's sweeping behind them. And I remember I would say to her, "You don't even give the people a chance to get out the door and then sweep." She said, "No, because they're gonna take all that complaining and all that drama. They're gonna take it right with them." And she's sweeping. Okay, have a good night. See you next time. But she's sweeping right behind them, sweeping them right up out of the door. And I used to think that was rude because, if of
getting
course you're
rid.
supposed to sweep after
She's
people
getting
leave
rid
your house, but you
of the
sweep
bad
after they leave.
energy.
Yeah, that's the energy they carry with them. She's trying, to not to let it be within the house.
Yeah, but you
Yeah,
supposed to do it after they leave you sweep.
yeah, of
She was
course, not
sweeping
in
when it's
front.
leaving out. Sweeping.
Yeah,
The thing
yeah.
was like about
So,
what you said,
it's
sister. This is
those little
about your grandmother when you asked for advice. The thing was that you didn't want that kind of advice. You wanted another solution. So
no,
that's why,
Another
no, I
yeah,
wasn't ready for it.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Hmm.
You want no, that's not the solution you want to hear. You want to hear something else. Well, the solution she's
She
giving
was
you is
just
not the
huffing and
one.
puffing. Like,
Yeah,
here
it's
she
not the
go
one you want.
again.
And
but
I happen.
now you have to understand. There comes a point whereby you also, the one who gives advice, you get tired. You know, you can only repeat certain things for a certain time. There are things that you can
Exactly.
repeat over and over just to make sure that they get through. Like raising children will teach you that. You know, a small child, you
Hmm.
can tell today that if you touch that candle, you will burn. Tomorrow you will touch it. You have to remind him that you will burn. The next day he will touch it. Until it comes to a point whereby you decide that let me give him the experience now. Let him go there and get
Let him
burned
touch it
for
on
it.
his own.
Let him
Hmm.
get
Hmm.
burned so that he can now learn from experience. Because I tried to warn him, but he was not listening. So now let me just leave him. That is the same thing though that happens with our ancestors in the spirit world. We get messages. We get messages, warnings
That's right.
through dreams, through dreams, through visions, through signs. You see a
Or even
sign.
people will tell you.
Yes, but because you are ignoring the signs, at some point the spirit will leave you so that you can experience the pain of that which you are ignoring. And after you experience the pain, you will become wise. The other day I looked up the word wisdom in a dictionary. It's funny how it was explained. Wisdom is knowledge with experience. Wow, that's a beautiful way of this
True.
explaining the wisdom. You know, after you get burned, after you have that experience, it is then you can call yourself a wise person because you have knowledge with experience.
That's right. That's where the wisdom come from. After you through it, after you burn your hand on the candle enough, you know that candle hurt when I touched the candle. So now you're wise enough to know not to touch it. Only a fool will keep touching the fire unless they get used to being burnt. And who does that?
No one does it, but we have to respect the fact that we as human beings, we don't know everything. We don't know everything.
Mm-hmm.
Things that we do not know. And as as a collective, as human beings, we each have different experiences. Each one of us has a different perspective of life, a different experience of life, different view. Of course, we have the same spirit living within us, but we are having different experiences. Hence, we have different bodies and different identities. Once we learn how to respect that aspect of life, that part of life, whereby we acknowledge and accept the fact that we are all different and we are all experiencing life in different platforms, different experiences, that is when we are going to start understanding what is really going on.
That's
Because
right.
my story is different from yours. His story is different from mine. Let us combine these stories and create a huge novel out of it. You know what the spirit is trying to acquire, what the spirit is trying to achieve is the experience on earth, the experience of the physical living, the physical existence.
Yep.
The spirit is one, but it has divided itself into many categories, experiencing different aspects of this three-dimensional existence that we find ourselves in. So now let us allow this spirit to have that experience.
That's right.
Let us give the spirit a chance to acquire that experience and take it to wherever it's gonna take it after this existence, after this life. You know, when you, Brother Shepsu, give me your story, your part of experience, I must reflect, I must listen to it with a spiritual ear and feel what you are feeling. Visualize, visualize with my third eye what you have seen in your experience. Once we learn how to do that, we will make sense of all these things that do not make sense to us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree with you on that because
Yeah, you have to visualize yourself in that situation,
Yes, yes,
yeah, and even sometimes you never, it's
and then
not
you'll
like
give the right answer.
yeah, it's sometimes you have to even go, you cannot even give the answer immediately. Sometimes you have to go and meditate on what the person has told you to find the
yes,
correct approach to it. Sometimes you may mess up a good
Hmm.
thing because of your you trying to anticipate what's supposed to be happening and try to answer too fast, and then you mess up the relationship that was meant to be, and
the
that
judgmental
that you
mentality. Yes,
exactly, exactly,
we
and
must
yes,
away with that. We
yep,
must do away with the judgmental mentality, whereby you judge things before understanding them.
Yeah, yeah. Prejudging. That's why they.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what happened when we start talking about the mythical realities. I say mythical reality. I don't talk about that kind of things. But I even prepared a whole thing that I was gonna discuss about it. But then I was meditating before I came to the show, and something like happened to me that like changed
You
me.
saw Bigfoot?
No, no,
You saw
I
Bigfoot?
saw you guys. That's
You
what I
saw
saw. I
Big at
saw
your
you.
foot?
I no, I saw you guys. Like I saw you guys. Like that people have a reason why they do the thing they experiencing. You see, people have a reason why they are why they doing that what they doing, and it doesn't mean that someone is superior or inferior than the other. They just have different experiences. They're just different entities, different beings
Yes.
who are having experiences, and they want to share it with those who they think should have consideration for them. You see, they because they're
Hmm.
opening up a
That's true.
door that they're opening up a door that they're supposed to have kept quiet about, but they're opening up no matter how
Hmm.
what response we will get, and you open up so somebody have to have so consideration, and for you having the guts to talk about it. And it's a lot of things going on besides that. It's a lot of things going on because when I meditate on something,
Hmm.
I don't get the answer right away on one meditation. I can be going on this week and next week about the same thing, depending on the importance of the matter. Because issues that you might think are not that important, they happen to be very important, and it's not even, and that might not even have
To
anything to
somebody
do with
else.
not have anything to do with Bigfoot at all. It might really have to do with a transformation that's going on inside of us. You see, it might even have to do with something different. So you just have to be patient because those who belong together have to be patient because we just re meeting each other like for the first time, but we're coming from different places with different backgrounds. So
True.
it's easy for us to clash. It's easy. So we have to be a little careful not to prejudge, and mess it up. And then we're going to go separate our separate way again and meet in the
Yeah,
next
we
life.
experienced that already.
Yeah, and then we meet in the next life again in a different, circumstance. And we might mess it up again. So it's good to meditate on things and not be too quick on judging people. And people will eventually, if they have not grown through certain things, they will eventually grow. We have to be like gods. We're supposed to be
Yeah.
gods on earth. So God, you see, God have a lot of patience. So
Hmm.
we have to have the same patience that God has. God
Yeah.
has infinite patience. Also, do we? When they say, for example, we can no, let's say we don't we cannot as I was speaking with you before about those people who expect us to have a definition of God based on what they've been taught about the big white man on the clouds and things of that nature, away
Yeah,
from
on religion. Yeah.
us,
Hmm.
away from us. And but what the way I was taught in spirituality, when they say, "Do you know God?" I said, "Well, you can know God by observing His creation, how His creation is manifesting." Let's say,
Mm.
so how do you know that God is love? Well, you say, well, God is love because you see when you cut yourself, He heals by Himself. When you smoke cigarette all your life and you start smoking, you see how the body does everything it can to cleanse itself up. You see that all the cells are born in the same place. You don't have an eye born behind your head, and everything else happen. Or when I ask you,
Hmm.
oh, how you could know God is harmony? So that part of the eye, that would be the harmony part. Or for example, like when they say that the earth is turning around the sun at 365, but it doesn't, like, it's always all of the planets are in perfect harmony with each other. You see, if one of them
That's
went
right.
out of proportion by a certain by certain by a certain distance, the whole thing will collapse. You see, so you can say that
You
you
know
can.
what?
Yes,
That's some real talk you're talking about, Shep. So not to cut your build, but even our Earth that we live on, the Earth is at the perfect distance away from the sun. It's
exactly.
not too far. If it gets too close to the sun, the Earth
Yes,
will be destroyed. If
it
we
will
move a
definitely.
bit too far from the Earth, the Earth
Yes,
would freeze up. So that 23.5 degree rotational
yeah, in
axis that the
Ecuador.
Earth is spinning, that degree is there for a reason.
Oh yes,
So we at the right point. We at a right focal point to be not too close, not too far away. Because if we
exactly,
like a few degrees off, we're gonna freeze. If we're a few degrees
exactly.
too close, we'll burn up.
we're gonna
So you're right. They're in their
yes,
perfect alignment and they don't come out of alignment,
Exactly,
unless Satanists
exactly.
start playing with it. But
So that's
naturally speaking, they do their
yes,
thing naturally. Everything is on point.
yes, and the thing is
Sorry
that
about that. Go ahead.
this is the more concrete aspect only. We're not even talking about more subliminal aspects of it, because this is like you have to go through initiation, and then you have to start being aware of yourself for you to be able to notice how God really is manifesting Himself. Because if you know meditation, if you know how to do it, go into trance, you'll know that you connect with God. You know that you
yeah,
can connect with God. You see, you know, because God is like it's like something that that something that has always been there, and that it will always be there, and it doesn't have any limitation. You can experience it. You experience it. You see, you experience the infinity of God. You experience it through meditation. Yeah,
yeah,
that's all. That's all I have to say. Yeah. So.
yeah. It's true, and we have to bring ourselves to an understanding of these existence, because now the only knowledge we have, and that we are basing everything under, is this three dimension that we are trapped in, this matrix that we find ourselves in. We know our reality, as what we see, smell, hear, and touch and taste, with these senses that we have. But once we understand and acknowledge the fact that there are other realms, there are other existence, other dimensions, we are able now to open up the part of ourselves that can accommodate now information that we do not know. You know, um, you open yourself to the possibility of knowing things that are beyond the knowledge that you are getting or acquiring in this three dimension that you are existing. You spoke about the trance meditation. When you are meditating and being able to
Connect.
travel to other realms. Um, I do that. I do that. I spoke about that the other day. Um, In fact, that's part of my life. You know, I live half my life in this realm, in the physical, in the three dimension, and the other part of my life I live on other dimensions. You know, and the knowledge that I acquire from there. I was telling the Empress the other day, Sister Nigish, that I I am one person who doesn't have words to describe certain things. You know, I'm not good at talking. I'm good at writing, painting, and drawing. You know, that is how I express certain things that I see. So now, when I come back from the trend, you know, to this reality, and I have to come and relay such visions, you know, such messages that I get from the other realms, other dimensions. I can't do so in words, you know, because I'm not that well spoken. I do that in writing, in painting, drawing, sculpting, doing my artwork. But now it becomes something that is a bit selfish because there are people who cannot read my painting. No, when I do my abstract painting, people just look at it as a beautiful picture. There are only few that can read the message behind the picture. When I write my books, people read and say, it's a beautiful story, but there's a code there. The story is written in code. There's a message behind. Only a few can get that, you know. So the reality is that not everyone is meant to receive that information. Hence, we are not
Right.
all fairies. Hence, we are not all seeing Bigfoot.
Of course.
Hence, we are not all being abducted by aliens. You know, there are people who are being abducted. They come back and tell you that experiments were done to them, this and that. The crazy story, yes. But the question is, did it happen? And now it is a question that only the one who experienced it can answer. You and I, we are just there to listen. Whether we believe or not, it's another story.
And it's not gonna make any difference whether we believe it or not.
Yeah. So the only thing we must do is respect the
Yes,
fact
sir.
that the fact that we are human beings experiencing different things in this existence that we find ourselves in.
Yeah, well, one thing I wanted to add to it is not that sometimes, yes, it's important to have respect for whether the whatever the person is saying, but that's why we also have oracles to consult to find out
Yeah,
whether whatever experience that person is bringing to my attention does it deserve any consideration, because
yeah,
maybe the person is coming,
Mhm.
maybe the person didn't have the experience for real, or maybe the person did have it, or maybe the person did have the experience, but the experience may be irrelevant to whatever the person is really going through in his or her life. You see, maybe
mm,
the advice that you have to give the person doesn't probably have anything to do with that particular experience. You see, maybe the person needs,
Yeah.
oh, you probably need to go and get a job or something like that. That's probably what you need to do at this moment. Or you probably have to go and take care of your children, or so whatever situation is going. You see, that's why we have the oracle. So sometimes I have had experiences which I had considered to be very of great importance, and I go to the oracle, and the oracle said, "Why you bother with such things like that? Like why you bothering with that? You're supposed to be, beyond those things." Like one of those experiences will be, like I have a brother, and the brother he came to New York. He lives in the Dominican Republic, and he came to spend Christmas here, December to January. And then he left, and after he left, we still play chess online for like a couple months, and suddenly he stopped talking completely to me. I found it very strange. I was that he did that, and then I went to the oracle. How what the heck is happening? He said, "Why you have to bother with that? Just relax, enjoy the moment, because whatever. Because there's certain even question that you don't even once you get to a certain degree, there's question that you don't even ask anymore. You know, one question that
Yeah,
why?
because if he just stopped talking,
Yeah, you
that's
just
his problem, not
yeah,
yours.
exactly. You didn't do anything wrong. You see, so
And
it's
that's
like
your
that.
brother. If he can't come to you and talk to you, he just gonna stop speaking. Then that's an issue he got with himself.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I'm his big brother
You
too.
know,
So it's even more
he
so
might
there.
be a little jealous.
I doubt it. The thing is, like, they Christian, but he came here and then he spent the time, and then
That ain't nothing.
yeah, he experienced different reality altogether, because I have him experience certain reality that he never. I say, I have experiences that when we walking on the street, I had him experience certain things that he never knew existed, and he was so amazed, so surprised. And I told him that another thing, that there was a guy that came to my place, and he came to borrow some money, and I landed the money in front of him. And then I went to the oracle and asked the oracle, "Is that guy gonna pay or not?" The oracle say, "Yes, this guy is gonna pay." And then I went to my brother and said, "You say this guy, he's gonna pay." And before my brother left, the guy came and knocked on the door and brought the money to me. There was several occasions, several things happened.
You see,
That, yeah,
you
that
see
he
your
saw.
brother, your brother. He feels. I don't mean to cut you off, but your brother feels that because he's a Christian, he's supposed to be a bit more powerful than you. And a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to
Yes,
oracles and spiritualists and shamans. You get a lot of people, they could be intimidated, or they could feel, they're a little jealous because they
yes,
wish it was them and it's not them, or because they got so much darkness around them and so much attachments that they can't
yes,
reach certain realms because they can't they haven't cleaned up their luminous energy field to reach that way yet. And you reached the certain way that he's supposed to already reach, being a Christian, and he haven't reached it. So the little
yeah,
jealousy start kicking in. You see people that are really intimidated when it comes to oracles. They won't go
yeah,
see an
we
oracle
are.
just because that intimidation, just because of that little jealousy that they have. And they'll walk around still damaged, walk around still on problems, but at the same time, they're jealous of you, and
And
they're
the
not fixing
fear.
themselves, or they won't put their pride aside and they're fearful.
Yeah,
Yes, they won't put their
yeah,
pride aside to say, let me go and get some help. Let me go and consult this
yes,
oracle because I know that they're going to tell me something that I need to know because my life is just not going right. Things just don't go the
yeah,
right way. When I reach that level he or she have met. And I
yeah,
noticed that throughout the years that a lot of people are and their feelings and their little jealousy and their emotions that they refuse to do it. They just won't do it, knowing they need
yes.
help now, but they still won't do it.
Yes, they know they need help. You're right. He needs a lot of help, and he's a lawyer too. He's a lawyer. He's a good lawyer.
You see, look at all of that he got.
Yeah, but he
Hmm.
cannot. But he cannot know, because the thing was about him was that when I went to visit him at the Dominican Republic, he was a thin guy. Now he weighs almost like 400 pounds, and then he's just a little taller.
What?
Yeah, he just like
What
he's almost six
happened?
foot or something like that. But 400 pounds, and then it's not like muscle, it's like a lot of fat and everything.
That's
He's
still
strong
too
already.
much.
But I was trying to help him on, changing the diet, because once you're under my roof, I show you what I eat. But since he ate meat, so and I ate at that time I was eating fish too, but I had I stopped completely.
Mm.
But I would buy, but from time to time I would treat him with something that that he doesn't get at the Dominican Republic. So from time to time, I would treat him with some of the food that so he doesn't feel like all that came to New York and having not having the experience of the junk food or something like that.
Yes.
But most of the days, I will eat like a lot of green leaves and salmon every day and nuts. The things that I usually eat
Yeah.
with juice,
More
natural.
plant based.
Yeah, it things like that. And until and then when he left, I even sent him. I was sending him recipes so he can start, substituting the food that he eats, because sometimes people have a diet, but when you tell them you have to change your diet, they don't have any idea of what they have to cook, or it's like this become difficult because they're not used to it. But so you have to send them things like with certain herbs that they can mix to put on eggplant, or or different beans,
Right.
how to season
Exactly.
them, and how to cook with no oil, and
Hmm.
you start teaching them all these things. I sending them a lot. I have a lot of recipes. I used to send recipe to many people that I wanted to help, so I even started doing those
And they
things.
don't use it.
Yeah, well, nah. No, they don't use it. It's not easy,
Oh, trust me, I know. Been
Yeah,
there, done that. Trust me, I
yeah,
know. You take your time and energy showing them. You even cook the meal for them, and they
yeah,
said it's good. Then you see them
yeah,
again. Oh, I need my meat. I gotta have my meat. They go right back to
yeah,
that same mentality. So you
yeah,
just put the information out there, give them the tools, and if they don't want to use the tools, done your part. It's just all
yeah.
about
Well,
doing your part, playing your
yeah,
part
that's
as
it.
a steward of the earth.
That's
And
it.
once you do that, you gotta let them go, because that's when they
Yes.
start draining your spirit. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I always like
it's
to help
kind of
others.
draining. It's a little draining.
I know people who
Hmm.
train. I know some of them, but I wouldn't qualify some of them like that.
It's like
But
they have a straw, and they just start sucking the spirit out of you.
yeah,
They got
because
several straws stuck into you. It's like two on the side, one on the top, one on the bottom, and they just start sipping.
I
And they
give
don't
you
Let
stop
me,
sipping until
if
everything's
I,
depleted.
I give you
yeah,
an
let me,
example of
And
a
then come
guy
back
that
for more. And then come back for some more sipping.
there is that guy that I was talking to, and then everything he has to say, he has to remember a time that it was a very depressive time, that he worked for this guy, but that guy, and and say, why you use your mind to your own detriment? What can you use your mind to, to
Just stuck
help
in
you,
time.
live a better
Hmm.
life, enjoy your moment? But no. And then he said he listened, and then he go back to and that was like I was feeling like he was like kind of draining my energy, because I really felt that why
They get
every
used
time
to pain.
isn't that what you have to use your faculties to your own advantage. You see, you cannot use your faculty to to your detriment. But it's easier said than done. It's we have to have compassion. It's a training we
Yeah,
have to
that's
go
true.
through. It's like
That's true.
yeah, because like as I said, the challenges I'm getting now. This is not that's not baby steps anymore. It's like this is like if you mess up just a little bit, you're gonna feel it, because now you like in direct touching, direct contact with the big ones now. It's like any slipping up, you're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it because it's you. It's
Hmm.
everything's you. It's the same you that's manifesting itself from you.
Yeah.
You see, so that's
You
why
feel it
we,
Well,
worse than they feel it. Little do
yeah,
they know.
yeah,
They don't
exactly,
know that you hurt more than they hurt. You hurt
exactly.
for them, feel more sorry for them than they feel sorry for themselves.
That's right. That's right.
I'm afraid. I have got limited time now. I'm only left with 7 minutes before my South African government takes away my power. Um, we have a load shedding crisis here in South Africa. So they gave us the
Mhm.
schedule whereby every 6 hours they take away our power for 2 hours. So yeah, I'm about to go offline in 5 minutes time.
Yeah, yeah. Me
So it,
too. Me too. I
it's
want to
just
go. I want to prepare a class. I want to finish preparing a class also that I was doing last night. So and I have other meetings tomorrow. So it would be good that we can continue next week. And what is the new
Yes.
topics you're thinking for next week? It wouldn't
Well, we
be
can
like the purpose of
we can
spirituality.
probably
I've been insisting
oh
on
well
that.
we was gonna probably yeah, we probably were going to delve more now into the Smurfs and the fairies and the mermaid. I don't know. Do you think that we can carry that on over that? Because I gave them the link about Bigfoot. They could go on YouTube and watch the Sasquatch Chronicles. After the lady told
yeah.
me it was laughing at her in her backyard while she was drinking wine and reading her book. I get it now with the Sasquatch. I think we
You
can
want,
move on to some more mythical realities here.
we
You
we,
know,
we
I
can
guess up to
do
you.
part 3 of mythical realities maybe a week after next, because next week
Okay.
I won't be available. I won't be available next week, but
Mhm.
during the week, during the course of the week, I'll be available. Maybe on Thursday, we can do part 3, and then next weekend I won't be available. We can resume on the second week after next week, whereby we can come up with a topic. Uh, Shepsu is proposing we talk about the spirituality. So we
yeah.
will see how we can fit that into other topics that we have online, because we already have a list of topics.
Okay.
Shepsu, yeah.
All right. No problem.
Try to fit it in other days to come. We won't
Yeah.
forget it.
And we never had like we always have a mixing up within the topic anyway. So we always talk
Yeah,
about
Yeah, that's
many
true.
other
That's
things
true.
also. So all
yeah,
right.
it
So
can
it
come.
was nice seeing you guys.
But I
I
guess
just
we could
miss
do a part
brother
two.
brother
Yeah, we could
Hero.
do a part two of the
Yeah.
spirituality. We could probably do a part two on that because we did do a part
Yeah,
one, religion and spirituality.
Oh,
So
okay.
we could probably
Religion.
do a part two.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Then we can add
We could
on
do a part two on that.
Shepsu's topic there. Yeah. We shall resume. Maybe during the week we'll do another part of this mystical creatures, and then by the way,
How does Monday
I'll be
sound? Because I'm off Monday.
we'll talk. You and I will talk privately and organize.
Monday or
Uh,
Thursday. Yeah, Monday or Thursday at work
we'll
during
Okay.
the week.
organize this
It
privately.
was a pleasure for me
It
to
was
be here
a good
with you
show.
as always.
Blessed love to everyone. To
Yes.
my South African
Give
fellow brothers and sisters,
a
enjoy
big
your new
gratitude.
year, and Heritage Day is done, let us continue upraising our cultures and living our true selves. Blessed love, peace.
Peace.
That's
Ashe.
right.
I see you
Ashe.
the
Yes.
week
Love and
after next.
gratitude. Give thanks for tuning in. Yes, the
You're
week
welcome.
after next. We'll send you
Okay,
the link, no doubt.
no problem. Thank you very much.
Give
Have a good
thanks
night.
and be safe.
Okay,
Ashe.
bye
Much welcome. You too.
bye.
And
Bye.
give thanks for the listeners for tuning in to Radio Talk. Until next time, be safe. Love and gratitude. Peace and love.